Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, we have an open mic night. And open mic nights usually come on days like this, where I've been going nonstop all day long. And so we're just going to talk about what you guys want to talk about. And we'll get to that shortly. But of course, we'll have a pocket check. And we're going to give away a knife tonight. We're giving a random knife away tonight. And it is this right under here, under the knife cam, the Miguron Pagos. The Pagos. This is a endowment. No, that's not the right word. This is a gift from Dave, This Old Sword, formerly This Old Sword, and now OG Blade Reviews. That's the first time I've messed up and called him This Old Sword in quite a while. So yeah, OG Blade Reviews sent this to me, as he did a box of 21. I did an unboxing. It wasn't an unboxing. It was more like a first impressions. Check out what I got, and what you're all going to get video. And I don't know. I think a lot of people liked it, and a lot of people definitely saluted Dave for his generosity, as do I. So this is what we're going to be giving away: the Pagos by Miguron. I have had which one did I have? I had one of the Migurons a while ago. Also a gift from Dave that we sent along to someone else. But man, they make really great knives, really well made and very thoughtfully designed. It's just I don't have any, and the designs aren't always for me. This one is very nice. It's a little small, so it's not a temptation. So I'm excited. Small, I mean 3.25, 14C 28, and top notch. We'll be giving this away. Excuse me, at 11 p.m. So hashtag knife in the comments by 11 p.m. could get you the knife. Hang on one second, please. I got it. There we go. I got to up the light a little bit. It's a little dark in this here room. So that's what we got going on. Pete Davidson, good day. How you doing, sir? Good day, Bob, Jim, and the rest of the mob. How's it going? So I just basically chugged a beer. I got home very shortly ago from a long day. Wait, what did you say? Good day, Bob. Okay, how's it going? Long day. Came home, drank a beer, and now I got that cotton mouth. So I'm drinking some water now. Unfortunately, that's all I got here. OG Blade Reviews. Speak of the devil, Dave. Great evening and powerful, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. It's awesome to have you. Great and powerful. I like that. Great and powerful. Pete Davidson says, I went to a silent auction today, came back with a dog whistle and two mimes. Two mimes. The dog whistle sounds cool. Doug Bowl, good to have you here, Doug. Hello, Bob. Look for that item USPS tomorrow. Will do indeed. Thank you, man. I always like that. Angelo, nice to have you here, Angelo. Angelo was a family name in my grandmother's generation on my mom's side. Pete Davidson, nice to have you here, sir. Today at the bank, an old lady asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her over. I like that. You must be a dad. Marco, nice to have you here, Marco. Evening, Knife Junkies. Well, evening to you, sir. Sword XXXY. Good day, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Good day to you, sir. It's always a pleasure having you with us. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door. Angry Tom. Hello, Bob. Hello to you, sir. Nice having you. Will B. Always a pleasure, Will. Hey, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. With a wave. Craig Vincent. Evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow folk who live on the edge. Craig, I think you're a cool cat. Nice to have you here, sir. Karen Slavin, nice to have you here, Karen. Evening all, she says. And Karen, if it's Slavin, let me know. But I'm gonna go with Slavin. Because aren't we all Slavin? That's just me feeling sorry for myself because I had an extra long day of work, but it was actually pretty fun. Both halves of it. Two very different projects. The last one was involved merengue, salsa, and cumbia, a sort of music I had only heard of tonight, and it was awesome. Will B says, have gotten some interesting things in this week. Got a Bastinelli Red V2. All right. So this is not the folder, right? Or is this the folder? Because they do both a fixed and okay, V2 and the ZT0308. All right. So I want that 308 black BLKTS. I'm not exactly sure. Black something. The only 308 in production I have any interest in. Yep. Yep. The funny thing is, Will, I almost carried my 640 today, or my 630. I'm sorry, my 630. Emerson Designs start with the 6. He's got 3 of them. The 630 is the one with the banana blade, the one, the clip point looking one. Almost carried that today. And then last minute, I went for something lighter because I knew it was going to be hot as hell. Split and Slices. Nice to have you here, Byron. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Thursday night knives. Chug a brew. Don't have to tell me twice. That's right, man. Yeah, that was a good one. I was like, I had another one. It was right here, ice cold. And right before we started rolling, I put it in the fridge because I was like, I will drink it, and then I will have to get up because I am a man of a certain age. So I did this for the cause. It's a sacrifice. You better believe at 12:01 that beer will be gone. Angry Tom says, I got a leather slip from Sage Grouse leather. That's nice stuff. It's black tooled with little skulls for my Jack Wolf vampire jack. It's so awesome. Oh, that's cool. So the vampire jack, what shape is it? Is it kind of coffin shaped? Does it echo the shape of the handle? Karen Slavin, you are correct, sir. Excellent. Then I will stick with my correct assumptions. Kilkenny, nice to have you here, Kilkenny. Good evening, fellow junkies. We're all, man. Yeah, it's true. Will be the V2 is the fixed version. Awesome. The 308 is the black tiger stripe. Okay. All right. So that's like when you look at the 300 series before the 308, like I guess it's the ZT 300 and then the 302. They were sort of half Ken Onion and half Strider. What's his name? Strider, Mr. Mick Strider. And the only thing I could ever really get from that is the blocky handle is Strider-esque and the tiger stripes. But is there anything else? I'm curious. What do you think about that? I have the 200, which is all Ken Onion, and it was like the second or third ZT knife ever. My brother gave it to me on a whim. It was awesome. He showed it to me. I was like, this is cool. He said, you can have it. That's the kind of brother I have. Sitting right over there. Not my brother, the knife. Unfortunately, I wish my brother were there. I'd give up the knife. Angry Tom says, chugging a beer sounds really good, but I'm allergic to alcohol. I break out in handcuffs. That's funny. I break out in sleeping on the couch. That is funny, man. Pete Davidson, been on a bit of a Spyderco mule kick. Oh, well, that's cool, Pete, because that's all about the different steels. The mule is their test bed for all the steels, and they're the good ones with all the steels. Just added the straight spine Spy 27. Case in point, Spy 27 is an exotic steel. I have no idea what it's all about and have never seen it, but I'd love to have something in it, or not seen it, but used it. And some Halprin titanium G10 scales. So that's from TRM, Halprins, like Mr. and Mrs., like Marianne. G10 scales. A great knife and handle combo. I don't hear much about them. Well, you hear about the mule from the steel nerds, and thank God we have them around to kind of point us in the right direction. Because I'm not going to, I'm going to look at designs, and then I need people to tell me how well they work. In a way, I hate to put it that way, but I am not going out and pushing my blades to their max to test them. I'm just not. So, but I like knowing that they're good with a good heat treat. Will B says, I have a very much used 0200 as well. I got it used for about $100. It needs some TLC. That's awesome. Does it have the serrations? The serrations on mine are pretty nasty, but they're decidedly unaggressive looking. And I place a lot of value in that on a cool looking knife. And they look like the bread knife we have and instead of instead of scallops with sharp peaks, it's scallops going out, so convex scallops. So they're kind of soft and round looking, even though they'll slice the hell out of you. So that's the one problem with the 0200 I have. Wilby says, no, the one I have is plain edge. And I'm not complaining. I like it. It's just a weird serration pattern, I have to say. And then recently, I've been into serration patterns, and this is actually my second favorite, only to the stitch. I love Microtech serrations. I like how they stand proud of the edge. Yes, Bob, we know. You say that all the time. Isaiah, nice to have you here. Isaiah Pavlik says, what up, Bobo? Well, it's good to have you here, man. What up, everybody? And he says that to everybody else. It's good to have you here. What are you carrying? Well, actually, don't let me know quite yet, because I'm going to hog the ball and say, I think it might be time for a pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
Due to the nature of what I was doing today, I knew I had to have serrations, but Edwin, you know him as Cal OPR, or you know him as Callow Blades, or he also has Prototype, which is an awesome business where he sells amazing Emersons and other knives. But anyway, he was showing off one of his many CQC 13s. So I wanted to carry this today. And the fact that I needed / wanted, more like wanted, and if I'm going to ever need them, it would be like on a day like today. So I picked this. Serrations, CQC 13. It all came together. Plus a little bit of, this is my very own knife with these custom scales made by my Tom Engelson of Vantage Point Blade Works. And this thing is just awesome. So he's made scales for 2 of my knives, and both of them Emersons, and he has totally righted the ship with them. This was having troubles with pivot and looseness and weirdness, and he obviously took it apart, put the scales he built on them, and totally solidified this thing up. So anyway, I don't carry it too often, but I absolutely love it, especially the blending right into the background. Micarta scales, they're so nice. Standard 154 cm blade. This one was made in 2013, right? Yep, 2013. It's 11 years old. And I got it 11 years ago, actually. All right, next up on me, only use this to tighten up my glasses, but I had the Compact on me by Victorinox. It comes with this as part of it, the little screwdriver for the sunglasses in there. It's also got a pin, a straight pin. Whoops. Right up in your face, right there, straight pin. And then it's got the tools here. It's got this is a pen, a ballpoint pen here. It's pressurized like a space pen, I believe, or maybe I'm making that up. I'm actually not sure. Tweezers, toothpick, the usual large. This is a 91 millimeter model, so that's that regular nice big blade, and nice big scissors, what we all love here. It's got the hook, the weird hook, and the file on the bottom, but it's also got this 2-in-1 or 3-in-1, 5-in-1 tool here. And I think that this is the first Victorinox model that this tool appeared on. So it is not only a bottle opener or cap lifter, it's also a can opener. So this tip can be used as a can opener. It can also be used quite effectively as a Phillips screwdriver in a pinch. Also a flathead screwdriver and a wire stripper. It's called Compact because it's only 2 layers thin, but it has tons of tools. It's a great knife. I love this thing. And I have to really carry Swiss Army knives, I need these little things so that they can suspend themselves in my pocket. I like those. They hang from the pocket. They don't drop to the bottom. Excuse me. All right, next up on me, I had this on me all day. No one knew. and I love that. Just around all sorts of people who had no idea I had this beautiful, Loveless inspired double edge T-Kel knives. Collaboration knife with yours truly and Tim Kell. I love this knife so much. And I know that I am 100% what do you call it? I am well, I'm singing to my own choir, I guess, because I had a big part in designing it, and I love it, and this is the kind of knife I've always wanted. And it's it takes from other knives that I love and kind of puts together all the sweet spots, and Tim Kell just knocked it out of the park here. And I've also been really loving the Agent 002. Do I have one out here? I don't have it out here. Oh yeah, I do. Been carrying this a lot, but only around the house mostly, because I leave the house and I'm like, I might get in a fight, a knife fight. I want this for me personally. This would also do great, but around the house and all the chores I've been doing this summer, this thing has been awesome. I love the 002. Gonna put that aside. Wrong sheath. Lastly, on me today, I thought I might have to hand one of my cohorts a knife to use. But here's the thing: you're looking at this, you're like, "Oh, Bob, that's a very nice Delica, fully serrated, Warncliffe with the titanium handle scales. Like, why would you hand that to?" Well, the guys I work with, I trust with knives. I hate to put it this way, and I don't mean to be condescending, but I've somewhat trained them to love and respect knives. They all have one from me, at least one, and use them and carry them. Sometimes they forget, and if they need one, this one has the serrations they might need to cut stuff they might need to cut, and it's tough, and they also will appreciate how nice it is and will take good care of it. But that's only because I work with trusted folk. If you don't bring yours. Bring one of the Walmart knives. They work great for a short while, until you resharpen them, and they might just spark an interest in someone you like. This is what I had on me. What did you have on you? Let me know. Drop it down in the comments so Jim can let me know. Woo! I feel that beer coming out. It's nice. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. I said that part out loud. I did. Did I mention I had a salad for dinner at 4? At 4. That's why I'm here. Good to have you. Hello, sir. Well, hello to you. It's good to have you here. Oh, no, you said I'm me, and I said I'm here. That's what I'm saying. I'm filling in the blanks with my brain right now. Craig Vincent says, Bob, I officially started my foray into home knife making. Oh, very nice, Craig. Hey, 15 years ago, I was home brewing and I did well. How different could it be? Craig, you and I must be the same age. Actually, I think maybe we discussed this and I think we ascertained we are. Yeah, I remember the home brewing thing. I had a roommate who home brewed and I liked it because he made very strong beer, but somehow the carbonation didn't quite set, but it was like, we didn't care. Isaiah says, Bob with the Victorinox. Oh, I love a Victorinox. I always have one on me. Usually it's the little SD, the little SD Classic. Will B says, biased is the word you're searching for. Yes. Thank you. You drunk bastard is what Will is. That's the subtext. I can read, Will. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Angry Tom says, today I have my case sodbuster, 6.5 bone stag. Oh, very nice. In a blue slip I made myself, and my Rubato 4. That's a really nice O-light knife or O-knife with stars and stripes aluminum scales on my Knight's Element Hummingbird. Very nice. Angry Tom, we gave away that very knife, but I don't think it was to you. But I love that knife. That was great. Dion Page, nice to have you here, Dion. No King Junkie, not a Phillips screwdriver. It's a standard straight slot. Just busting your chops a bit. Sorry, sir. Well, you know what, sir? Anyone who can't take a joke, yeah. That's that's also frequently how males show affection. I've had to tell my daughters, like, yes, all of their contemporary boys are a bunch of little bastards they better stay away from. But also, when they're razzing each other, they're just razzing each other. That's how boys show each other they like one another. They can't say, "I like you, let's be friends." They have to be like, "You're stupid and ugly. Let's hang out." OG Blades, nice to oh, Dave, I already said hello. Packing these today. Best Tech Shodan. Benchmade Claymore. I love that. OTS Auto. Microtech TAC P. Uh-oh. I'm starting to sweat. I don't know what that is. TAC P. Compliance Edge. DCK in 3V. I love that knife. That knife in particular I want. I'm assuming that's the one without the ring. Of course, I'd take the one with the ring, but I'd prefer the one without. The Fox Bante, which you loaned to me for a while, which was such a sweet knife. The Beyond EDC Night Horse by Dirk Pinkerton Thai and S35VN, a gorgeous modern Navaja, and the Weebla Cow. All right, Dave, you're just now I know what you're doing. The Weebla Cow, so sweet, and the Copus Elvia and the Woobin X2 Torch, and you had to call it a torch, didn't you? The Weebla Cow, Dave. I love that knife. If anyone besides Dave has a Weebla Cow, and you want to sell it, please let me know. I would spend a little bit more than what it cost originally, but I am kind of cheap, even though I'm not cheap. But right now, my highest priority is on custom fixed blade knives. But I want a Black Cow. I want something from him, period. Ground Fog, nice to have you here, Ground Fog. Always a pleasure, sir. With the wave, Todd Carr, evening everyone, he says. Evening to you. Todd, what were you carrying? I know it wasn't nothing. Reverend Jim, nice to have you here. Reverend Jim Lander. Is that Lander or Iander? Have I been saying this wrong? Because you're doing it all right, except that would not be Lander. That'd be Eander or something. Let me know. Have I been jacking it up the whole time? All I carried was my Otto Osborne by Benchmade. Oh, well, that's pretty nice. I mean, you say all I carried. So have you seen the 940 with the burnt bronze handle and the black stonewashed Magna Cut? Like, that's the first 940 I've seen where I'm like, maybe I should add one to the collection just for, you got to have one, even if you don't like it that much. It looks nice in that iteration, I think. Marco says TC, and I don't know what that means. I probably asked him to answer a question, and that's his answer, but I'm a space cadet, and I can't remember. Dion Page says, I carried my new old Western Skinner. Oh, cool. Antique shop find and Voyage XL clip. Okay, I love the Voyage XL. Oh, wait. I had it, and I put it back in lieu of this. The Recon 1 XL, but you were mentioning Western. I'm sorry, Jim, could you go back one? Just one, and then I'll get to Cheeto. Old Western Skinner. So it's from Western, this company, like this is the Western W49. Is that what you're saying? I'm kind of interested in the Western brand. It's sort of here, you can see it on the script. Western right there on the sheath. I said on the script. I worked too much today. Too much work. All right, putting this over here. All right. Chimichanga Cheeto, very nice to have you. Good day, sirs. And Mr. Cheeto is himself also a knife designer. And your knife is pretty very cool. Isaiah says that collaboration you did with TKL is something you should be proud of. But thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. I am quite proud of it. Very happy with it, and I actually love it in that purple handle. If you guys have TKL knives or are considering them, really spend some time on the website poring over the different kinds of handles they have, because they have a whole bunch of these G10 burls that are amazing. Like, instead of the regular stacked where it's like purple, all black, all purple, all black, it's purple black swirl stacked on purple black swirl. So when you mill it, and no matter how you cut it, it's going to look like kind of like burl wood. And I love it. I was about to say I totally love it. I do totally love it. But and then here's one where it's the more traditional style. I like this too. This one is purple and black, purple and black, purple and black. It's called the Black Hawk scales. This is the FLN, by the way, and I love this knife. I'm doing a little tweaking on the sheath. It is the one TKL knife sheath out of all that I've tried, and I own many that needs just a little tweaking. So I'm going to tweak it myself. Just put a little heat here and pinch it. And it might be my own kind of misgivings. I don't carry karambits often, and I want it to be a very conscious tug to make it come out. I don't want it to be as loose as I'm willing to let regular knives be in their sheaths. But this thing, man, Jared Neve and Tim Kell just designed the crap out of this, because most ringed knives, I know I say this, I sound like a broken record, are not that comfortable. This one is very comfortable. The MR1 slash Night Stalker by them, but this is really, really comfortable. So you can make a full fist, punch someone in the face, and then get the extra blade in there. I mean, of course, we're talking about horrible people who deserve it. We're not just talking about you going out and chugging a beer and getting into a fight, which would be crazy. All right. Love this thing. I don't know how I got off the rails. Oh, yeah. Just talking about the purple from TKL Knives, how awesome it is. All right, I want to show you this. Full disclosure, I did that little flippy flip, and I just nicked myself. It did not cut, or it did not start bleeding. But yeah, I nicked myself right here, right there at the base, because I was trying to look cool and was failing, and then also failed to not cut myself. All right. Will B says Grimsmo Norseman, Microtech Hera 2 Recurve, Microtech Amphibian, awesome knife, Microtech Ram Lock Stitch. Those last two are two of my favorites from the past 5 years. ZT0, the one you were just talking about, the 0308, TKL Night Stalker, CQC, Olight Warrior Nano, and Heretic Thoth. That rolls off the tongue. Chemtina. Okay, it's the Heretic Thoth Chemtina pen. Is this like some Dune thing or some Star Wars thing? What's a Thoth Chemtina? I have to know. Thoth. Thoth is like the name Rory, and if you're out there and your name is Rory, I don't mean to diss on your name, but I can't say it. Rory. It's just like Thoth. Or Arzrarn. It just does not roll off the tongue. Split and Slices says, Carrie was off-grid all-day Necker, Swiss Army 2 A-locks. Very light carry today, Byron. Did you have to go to a government building, perhaps? Swiss Army 2 A-locks. Oh, man. The Swiss Army 2 A-locks. Okay, so Byron gave me a Swiss Army 2 A-locks, and it is so fine with the, it is a single layer. It's not here, but imagine a Victorinox A-locks, silver, thin, but one layer, and one side has the 93 millimeter size blade, a regular blade, and then the other side is a little hawkbill, a little very impressive hawkbill. I mean, this is something that Jason Bourne could make good use of and slay many victims or slay many adversaries with. So very, very nice knife. So hats off to you, sir. All right. what am I going to put under the camera? Let me show you this. This one I have to have heat treated. I just rediscovered it. It was hanging on my wall. I sort of forgot about it. And what's this? Heretic Nice. Oh, okay, here it is. The Thoth pen. All right, guys, what's Thoth? Please. That's a cool pen, no doubt. Heretic, the Marfione who does Heretic learned from the Marfione who does Microtech, and makes some beautiful products. Thoth. Let me know what Thoth is. So anyone remember me making this? Actually, this is the metal version. This is AEBL. It just has to be heat treated, and it's chisel ground. It's a little Pikal, and it's based on this even littler G10 Pikal that I made just for, non-permissive environments, because guys like me, guys who live these high-speed, low-drag lifestyles, we got to make sure we always have something on us. Of course, that's not actually true, thank God, but I do like having this little thing on me sometimes. But I want to have this finished. I have to have someone heat treat this, and I want to do a handle for it. James Moore, nice to have you here, sir. Thursday night pocket check. Okay, here we go. Shirogorov F3 NS Custom Division in gray custom leather sheath. Oh God! All right, so if you don't know James Moore, he has an incredible collection of very high-end class. We think of gentleman knives. These are gentleman's knives, but they're not shrinking violets. They're not tiny little slender. Like he has the most extra iterations of some of the coolest knives, and so much more. So anyway, James, very nice carry, sir. Doug Bowl, Bob, what is your opinion of knife blades made with 1080C? Okay, Doug, I have no opinion, but a 10 steel, I mean, like a 1080 or 1095 or 1075 or they're all good. They're tough, high carbon steels. Like that steel, I would imagine. I have no experience with it, and frankly, I don't think I've ever actually heard of 1080C steel. But I would imagine it's tough. I would imagine it's on a camp knife or some sort of outdoor field knife. And I guess I'd be predisposed to say as a steel, I like it because I like 1095. I like 1075. Is there 10 something else? I like those 10 series carbon steels. They're old and tried and true. So, yeah, no opinion, but this is what I surmise. Reverend Jim says, I'm hurt, Bob. You skipped my salutation. How did I skip your salutation? I didn't mean to. I'm fed this drip of your comments. Karen Slavin says, not carrying, but nearby. Oh, I like that. A 9-inch switch big boy stiletto. And wait. What's a Arapaho Bowie? Let me know what that is. I like the 9-inch switchblade, big boy stiletto. And the whole thing about not carrying but near, that's kind of how I am at work. I mean, I'm always carrying, but near I have stuff like well, just in case anyone from work is watching, I have other stuff in my bag, which is locked up. No one else can get to it. Ouchie EDC, good to have you here. Howdy, he says. Howdy to you. Yeah, that's me half the time. On the ground, like it used to not hurt when I did this. Craig Vincent says 8010 serrated vaquero, Chris Voyager XL, Voyager Tonto, and that serrated vaquero is also an XL, by the way. I'm pretty sure, right? Voyager Tonto SR1 American Lawman, and that's a slicey dicey reference. Spyderco PM2 Resilience Kaiser Phoenix. Which one is that? I remember liking it. Petrified Fish Mikado. I mean, petrified fish. What a crazy name, but they make great knives. Ned Foss Cougar and New Breed Clydesdale QSP Hedgehog. Great knife in the QSP Hedgehog. What's this Ned Foss? I just agreed to it to check out a knife from them, and I think I may have done Ned Foss a long time ago, and I think I gave it to my daughter, kind of almost fantasy looking Bowie, but I'm not sure if that's a Ned Foss. So what's up with them, Craig? Are they good? I mean, obviously you have good taste, but I'm curious what you think. Sorry for all the belching, guys. All right, and gals. Let's see what's next. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's cool. Wait a second. First of all, thank you, Jim. And second of all, Ned Foss. When I think Ned Foss, I think like I think fixed blade knives that are called camp knives that are really actually mall ninja knives. This is not that at all. This is pretty sweet. Like the Fuller, I love the shape of the opening hole, the blade overall, that clip point, very nice. Good looking handle. I like the pommel. You could definitely in reverse grip cap the pommel with your thumb and have that nice little arch to wrap around. And it's wah, 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 3 inches. To me, I'm okay. Good back pocket. And you got you got the old button lock. I love that. But I always go for something a little bit bigger, but in the back pocket, that'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. All right. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. I think I was waxing poetic about something, but naturally, that is long gone. Addicted to Knives. Good to have you here, Addicted to Knives. Spyderco Shaman Z-Wear, and the SE3. I do love the SE3. The Z-Wear, I've never used that. What's the deal with Z-Wear? Let me know. I always like to have. I mean, I could look it up and try and figure it out, but I like to have the common. Uh, I like to have the from the streets news on the steel. That was hard to sharpen, but worth the squeeze. Todd Carr says Leatherman Surge and accessories, Gerber Dime and Shard, Cold Steel 8010, and American Lawman. Wow. Okay. 2 American Lawmen tonight. Haven't heard about that knife or from that knife in quite some time. CJRB Mormalia, 5th pocket. Okay. Designed by Swags, and she's now going by something else. I think just her name. Swag something and her first name. Use that information. It's very useful. PBK Pocket Lucky Fixie. Olight i3T, Arkfeld UV. I have one of those right here. And Open Mini Forest Tank. Hang on. What's the PBK Pocket Lucky Fixie? PBK. Something knives. But what is that? What is PBK? Let me know, Tom. So I have this Olight. This always, this has a magnet at the bottom, and this is how you charge it. And I have this stuck to a lamp right next to my bed. This is my next to the bed flashlight. It happens to have a ferrous base. Oh my God, guys, excuse me. And so this sticks to it, magnetized, and in the dark, I can grab it and turn it on. But the cool thing I like about this one, it's got a laser. Anyway, cool laser. I got to stop saying anyway. Reverend Jim, Lander it is. Sorry for the sloppy time. My keyboard is acting up. All right, cool. No, I'm just glad that it was me. I'm glad it was me. Pete Davidson says, today's carry, Spyderco Mule LC200N, Police K390 with knurled carbon fiber scales. I love knurling. I like the word too. Victorinox Mountaineer and Mini Champ with carbon fiber plus scales. That means you got a pen, right? And Cold Steel Peacekeeper San Mai. The Peacekeeper, very nice. That's a deep dive, or Pete. That's a nice, what's that? A deep cut. That's a nice one to have. Peacekeeper. Now, help me remember, is the Peacekeeper the dagger or is it the push dagger? One of them is one and the other is the other. Thank you, Jim, for the reminder. We are giving away a knife tonight. And it tis this Miguran Pagos. Oh, why not? This is the Pagos, and it is 14C28N. Beautiful straight back blade. It kind of looks Norwegian to me. I mean, or Nordic, right? It looks kind of like some sort of well, some sort of what's the knife? What's the one I'm looking for, guys? See, I knew it. I hit it. It's very sharp. I'm bleeding again. Liner lock. And front flipper, very nice chunky liners here like that. And this beautiful tan G10. This is also a good front flipper. Oh, very good. And let's see if I can do it with the forefinger. Yes. And you can reverse that clip. Reversible sculpted titanium, presumably. I don't know. Pocket clip goes on the other side. I like that. That's a nice touch. And yes, it is sharp. Man, I'm just making myself bleed tonight. And this laser is still on. I'm going to blind myself. What is going on, people? Help me. All right, let me see a comment so I can lose myself and get away from myself, because I'm cutting myself, I'm blinding myself, and it's that kind of a night here. Okay. Isaiah says, my carry today had my Cold Steel Formax and Victorinox Spartan wood grain. Very nice. It's still sweet, though. I light carry for this Indian. A light carry for this Indian, 100%. Yeah, Formax, though. Formax is going to take care of a lot. And you know what? I really value the multi-tool, but as far as carry on my person, I don't really like Leatherman. I like them in my bag. I like to use them when I need them, but I love the Victorinoxes. So you and me today with the Victorinoxes, definitely, and others actually. Have a nice day. Nice to have you here, sir. I finally made it. I just got a massage. Ouch, ouch. That hurt. Ouch, ouch. I used to go to this place. Okay, so this is a funny story. Well, it's not really a funny story, but I used to go to a place in New York City called Kira or something like that. It was a Japanese massage place, and it was legit. And they walked on you, and they had, it was like they were retired Olympic judo players who would like just crunch you and walk on your back, and they could really get articulate with their toes and really massage the hell out of you. But at the same time, I started going there with someone I was dating who's like, oh, we can go for couples massages. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I was also doing this thing that was kind of actory, but I wasn't an actor, but it was more about I was into martial arts and I was exploring body stuff. And anyway, in this acting sort of thing, they were like, express yourself. Like if you feel tension, let it out. And so I was being very demonstrative with my voice at that time. And I'm at this Japanese, very legit expensive Japanese massage parlor in Midtown Manhattan, getting walked on. And I'm making all these noises. And the person who ran the place came in and she's like, you have to stop that. You're giving the wrong impression. We are not this kind of place. I'm like, what do you mean this kind of place? This guy's crushing me. Like I have to express myself. And she's like, no, you sound like it's a sexual expression. And I was like, oh, okay. And I put all that actor stuff away immediately and took it on the back like a man, like we do. That's good. That's good. That's right. Bury it deep. Push it down. You don't express yourself like that. You're a freak. You'll get thrown out. Pete Davidson says, would love some TCAL knives. I'm just scared they will get confiscated. Ah, that sucks on the way into your country/continent. Maybe not. Maybe not. It depends. I mean, Maybe not. Maybe if someone's sending you a shaving kit, or maybe if someone's sending you some designer gardening tools, something like that, maybe they won't. Dion Page says, I have a Wyatt Haynes War Bowie and a Nova 2. Can't wait to get them, Dion. I can't wait. I can't wait to get it to you. It nipped you like a fickle cat. Yes, it did. It did indeed. And I have the coolest. I have the coolest cat. I know you've got an awesome cat. Have a knife day. The ring knives, I suppose they fit if you could depend on the maker's hand size. Yeah. I mean, I've shaken your hand. Maybe not everything fits your fingers. I have slender fingers. Some people have giant, muscular, bigger fingers, that kind of thing. And you might have to worry about getting, what do they call it? Degloved? What a horrible term. You know what it means immediately. It's like all the skin pulled off your finger. Like not even incised and gently, just pulled off your finger. Shark the Greaser. Good to have you here, Shark. What are some good knives for people to get when it's their first knife? All right. Well, Shark, I would say, okay, I would say, do you want a fixed blade or do you want a folder? But since we can cut to the chase here, I would say, well, okay, I'm partial to Cold Steel because Cold Steel is a high value brand. For many of their knives, you can spend money and get a knife way out of the weight class of what you're spending. Here's an example. This is an old example, but kind of a current example. Here's the Spartan. You can still get this knife. This has been out for about 15 years or so. Came out right after the movie 300. It's awesome. It might be a little big for most carry, but they make a lot of different size knives. But the point here is that it's super stout. Very, very strong. It maximizes a very pedestrian steel. In this case, AUS 8A. For many years, Cold Steel, their bread and butter was AUS 8, even on their big blades. And they spent the time and energy figuring out how to heat treat it as well as possible. And they got some very tough and long-lasting sharp knives out of it. Now they're using much higher end steels, but still this thing, it has seen a lot of action and is still kicking. And it was $60 to start. Now these are 2013, 2012, 2010 dollars, but still you can go to Cold Steel and get your choice of many different fixed blade knives or many different folders. Here's a great fixed blade knife, $40 for this, the Coben. This is an awesome hollow ground, flat ground, so a compound ground Tanto with a very slender Coke bottle shaped, neutral this way, Coke bottle this way, Grivery handle, great sheath. This is my aftermarket clip. $40 for this. Still $40. And they've had this knife on the market for 20, 30 years, something. And it hasn't gone up much in price, but I defy you to, through normal use, exhaust this knife. So I'm very partial to Cold Steel and then, obviously I got a lot of knives that are custom or have gone beyond Cold Steel, but it's all you need, and it's a great place to start because they have so many different designs, and many of them are based on historical knives, historical ethnographic knives that have been proven throughout history, and they just update them with great steel and great builds, or great great design and great builds. And on the new ones, great steel. So check out Cold Steel. Will B says the Toth is a tactical bolt action pen with a shipwrecked upper and lower and DLC titanium body. Upper and lower. Okay. I don't know pen parlance, but yeah, it makes sense. An upper and lower. And I like the shipwreck thing. But No, I'm sorry. What I was asking was the word Thoth. Thoth. Is that something else? Or did this pen company say, we need a name? Let's come up with 5 letters that are really uncomfortable to say. Or is it some like ancient, like, is it Odin's pet worm or some shit? Like, Dion Page says Thoth was the Egyptian. This is what this is what I'm getting at. Thoth was the Egyptian god of knowledge and thought. Man, and taught man how to plant and grow. All right, that's awesome. I'm glad the Egyptians had that god, and I'm glad they learned how to grow. But come on, just because it's a cool god doesn't mean it's a cool name for a knife. Like Hephaestus or Hephaestus. No one can agree on how to say his name. Vulcan in Roman, Hephaestus in Greek, the god of the forge. Why aren't there 100 knives named that? It's because no one can name. No one. It's a weird spelling, and no one knows exactly. No one agrees on how to say it, so they're not going to go there. They'll do Vulcan all day long. Why aren't there any Vulcan knives, by the way? But you know what I'm saying. Thoth. It's just like it's half cool. It's half cool because the idea and the history is cool, but the word is not. How we say it, maybe how they said it, it sounded great. Dion Page, Raylene, Dion Page's girlfriend here. Love your show, Bob. Raylene, thank you very much. I just saw thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm so used to saying sir because my audience is mostly sirs. Thank you so much, Raylene. And I saw that you sent me an email like a couple of weeks back, and I could probably say this about a couple of people here, and I have to read it. And I'm sorry that I haven't gotten to it and responded to it yet, but I will definitely read it. Today, I had a chance during lunch to kind of call out everything that I knew I wasn't going to even touch. And yours wasn't one of them. So, Raylene, I look forward to it. And thank you for saying hi and watching. Pete Davidson just caught my cat playing with with an open Endura on the bench. He was using it like a fidget spinner. I love cats. I really do. People, guys guys who like to be guys who are tough. I'm plenty of tough guys I know who don't like cats, but plenty of guys who want to be tough who don't like cats. And to me, I'm like, it's a mini tiger walking around the house, killing all the small things you don't want to deal with. Like, how is that not cool? Like, how is a mini tiger not cool? Oh, it's too feminine, like, yeah. Get over it. Cats are sweet. I would love to have like a couple of big ones roaming my yard like all the time. Doug Bowles says, Bob, it's on my windlass 18-inch antique Musso Bowie. Very nice. Windlass makes awesome stuff. They do contract work for Cold Steel. Let's see. Do I have any out here? I don't. But I know the Wild West is made there, and couple of the 1917 is made by Windlass, I believe. I recently said the Chieftain Sachs was, but it wasn't. I think I was wrong about that. So Cold Steel, they source all over the place, and they still do a lot of stuff in Taiwan, and I'm getting up for it. Sorry, gotta do it. It's not here. It's upstairs. It's in the bedroom. I had to pull out the Cinquedilla. I love that knife. That's my most recent purchase. My 5-finger wide Cinquedilla, the Italian. Some people call it. They say it looks like a pizza slice. That's low hanging fruit, but I'll accept it. It's a dagger that goes from about this wide at the hilt to a point. It's like a triangle. It's so beautiful. It's got quintuple. It's got 5 fullers. It's gorgeous. Made for Cold Steel by some company in Taiwan. I thought it was Windlass, but oh man, it is so nice. And damn it, I wish I brought it down. Jason Velasquez, nice to have you here, sir. Today was Malibu Dragon Scale Green. That Malibu is so nice with DLC 20CV. That was the knife that really got people excited about the button locks. I mean, they had been around. Button lock flippers had been around, but the Malibu really like got people excited about the button lock flippers. DLC 20CV, large Sebenza 31 with olive G Carta Magnica. Wait, olive G Carta. What does that look like? I'm so curious. I love G Carta. And I love the 31. I'm that inlay is growing on me. At first, I thought it was too much inlay, but I really like it. It's starting to look to me like a 1950s like Chevy, or some sort of an old, or like maybe a 1930s car. It's got a nice Rubenesque shape to it. But Olive G Carta sounds awesome. And a Pena Trapper JG. Okay, so Jason's balling tonight. Very nice. Oh, light day. I love that. I love when two amazing knives are a light day. Now, I know Stephen Clayton Jr. has way more than two on him, way more than two T-Kells on him. Good evening, everyone. Stephen, always a pleasure. What you got on you? Let me know. Professor EDC, nice to have you here, sir. Bob, Jim, fellow knife junkies, hope everyone is doing well. Glad to be able to drop by and hang out. What is up? It's always good to see you here, Professor. As usual, how are you liking the old Benny? Is that your favorite? It's, man, I gotta say, it is, like, to be truthful, I guess it's my favorite Jack Wolf Knives knife. And the reason I have to say that is, I carry it the most. I carry it even when, what's that word? They lie even when it doesn't suit them. I carry this even when it doesn't suit me. I really dig this. It's the perfect knife. And you know what? It's like it's exactly the same size as the sharpshooter, but somehow it feels bigger. So anyway, how do you like it? Z-wear is equivalent to crew wear. Oh, I wasn't aware of that. I have one crew wear knife. It's the Shark by Alex Steingraber. Mike Flamian, nice to have you here, sir. Bark River shoot knife. The shoot knife. I'm sorry. I got to do this every time. But that shoot knife, I love it. I need a shoot knife in my life, or even a shoot knife inspired knife like the Terrain 360. But the shoot knife is another famous Bob Loveless design that is just, it's like the sub-hilt fighter. It's just perfect. And Bark River does a version of it with custom Kydex. Michael Clack, I don't know that, made me a Koenig Arius and SC Arc neck knife. Wait, Mike, let me start from the top. Bark River shoot knife with custom Kydex, comma, Michael Clark made me. Oh, that Michael Clack made you. And a Koenig Arius and SC Arc neck knife. What is that? Is that a Spyderco? What's SC? I'm all confused. Mike, help me out. Todd Carr says Primitive Bear Knives. Oh, okay. That's right. He's a USA custom maker. Used to be called Papa Bear. Okay, I really know him now. He does amazing fixed blade knives. Primitive Bear. Okay. Well, then I've been seeing him. I knew because Papa Bear, I'm subscribed to him on Instagram, and I knew I'd seen PBK, but I couldn't place it. Mark Salva, nice to have you here, Mark. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and spectators. Today I carried my Kaiser Beyond, very nice, CRKT minimalist katana. Okay. Oh, that's the bigger one. Okay, I was thinking at first the recurve Tonto, which is also nice, and my Nieto Tesca EDC Fixie. I don't know that knife at all. I'd like to, though. Nieto Tesca EDC Fixie. So I just ordered totally. Okay, I had to get. Okay, it's a real issue with. I mean, it's like a real issue in this house with charger cords for iPhones. I had to order some charger cords. I was pissed off, and so I ordered myself two inexpensive knives, and one of them is a Navaja, like from Spain. We'll see how good it is, but with the Clack, clickety clacking ratchet lock, and it's got stag handles, and it'll be my first kind of legit Navaja, I hope. Anyway, maybe for the price, it's probably not that good, but we'll see. I really showed my family, though. Isaiah says, Bobo, I got a bunch of Ned Foss blades, some of the best quality budget blades. I floss with Foss. Very nice. Let me see. Professor EDC, Liuku. What does that mean? I'm sorry, I forgot. This is like one of those things when you interview someone and you say, just kind of put some of the question in your answer. And that's so that you can cut out me asking the question. But for me, I ask you to put it in there because I'm a flake right now, especially in my state of mind right now. And I might need a reminder. Logan 2070, good to have you here, Logan, with your eagle, anchor, and globe. Today's carry was the Concept Copperhead Hawkbill. Oh, that one is that's a Pinkerton design, right? That's the one with a couple of fullers. 154 cm and micarta. Great carry after sanding the shoulders on the micarta. Oh, okay. Copperhead. I think that's the one, the Hawkbill. I think that's a Pinkerton. Let me know. Pete Davidson, Peacekeeper is the dagger. Okay, so I have that one. I have the smaller one. Just wish it had a solid guard. It carries so well in the shoulder holster. Ooh, I like the cut of your jib, sir. So I bought one of those off eBay a couple of years ago, and I showed it off a bunch of times. It has a little bit of a rounded point, and the sheath, manaja. It's like it was made for a different knife. It fits nicely, but it fits too tightly. And I've never had that issue with a cold steel sheath. So I think it's something about the old, for mine was pretty old. I think it's the old Crayex or whatever this rubber is against the Securex. It starts to get sticky. Excuse me. Okay. Pardon me. Okay, Stephen Clayton says, I'm sorry, before I get to you, Stephen, I just have to reiterate that we are now 2 minutes overdue. We're going to be giving this away shortly. #knife. Just put, please, everyone here. It doesn't matter if you win it. If you win it, you don't want it, let me know. But everyone watching right now who's got a finger left, put in #knife in the comment section. And that's all you have to do to win this pretty damn sweet Miguron Pagos with G10, nice, beautiful, shiny liner lock with a very stout liner lock there, and 14C28, and it looks like a Nordic straight back knife that the name I just can't remember, but I really love the look of this. Feels great in hand. My medium-sized hands get a full 4-finger grip on it. Plus, if you got meat hooks, big giant meat hook hands, you'll still be able to grip this 4 fingers. So check it out. Oh, you're all wondering, does the fuller work? Negative. The fuller does not work. This is a 100% thumb stud knife. All right, #knife. We're going to do this, Jim, keep me honest, in 1 minute. 1 minute. So people, come on. #knife. It's the pound symbol. So if if it's, you remember the Me Too movement, #Me Too. If it's pound me too, if you think about it in American. So that's like the opposite of what they were going for. All right. So hashtag or pound knife in the comments could win you this knife. And you only have to pay about $75 to $80 shipping. Stephen Clayton says, Rem Alliance Scourge. I love the name. The TKL Agent 001 ×2. I like the cut of your jib. And a 002. Okay, I'm going to keep count now. Okay, Combatant, a Piranha, a TS87. That's kind of the screwdriver slash, thing. The FLN ×2, the Guardian, the Night Guard, and 2.0, the Night Stalker, and the Accomplice, and the Gideon, and the MR1. So is that right? 14? You have 14 TKL knives on you, plus a Midgard's Messer mini axe, a Crudo snag bit, which is a cool little, and that scourge up front. So that's 19 knives. I like it. I like it, Steven. You know who you are. You are Lou Diamond Phillips in the first Young Guns with all the knives. And that's who I always wanted to be. Either Lou Diamond Phillips or whoever the knife guy was. Who was it in The Magnificent Seven? It was James Coburn with the switchblade, or there was one in I think he was Asian in the Redo, which was also very good, the 2019 remake of that movie. I always wanted to be the knife guy, but Stephen Clayton Jr. is the knife guy with 19 knives on him. You got to have one up here, and that's not just myth. Someone I used to know very, very much vouched for that, having a knife back here, which I don't and never have, but I've heard it's very handy. Deion Page says slash, stab, chop, stick, hack, and slash that button. You mean the like button? It's mouthing off and saying we have soft steel. It's saying you're just a collector. Bro, use your shit, bro. That's what it's saying. Use it, man. Just use it, bro. Yeah, do what you do when someone bros you and they don't nose you. Yeah, hit the like button. Jesse says, Jesse, nice to have you here, sir. Concept egress. Yeah. That's the niche design. I love the egress. The Matriarch 2, which is one of those great S-curve. It's like the Civilian, but a little bit more robust and definitely smaller, and more in the Delica Endura line, and the Mini Champ Swiss Army knife. Very nice, Carrie. You've got it covered. You've got all the bases you need, except for the fixed blade. But need to chug that other barley pop. No, I don't. It's in the fridge, and I gotta go. I'm about to take this and use this. No, just kidding. I won't. Did anyone see Dirty Rotten Scoundrels? Excuse me, may I go to the bathroom? Thank you. Help with Gadgets says, howdy, folks. Help with Gadgets. Nice to have you here. If you haven't seen Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with Michael Caine and Steve Martin, oh my God, it is so funny. It is gut-bustingly funny, if you ask me. Craig Vincent says, Bob, my first knife will be a big, rude blade if I can manage to pull it off. My inspiration will be John Blutarski from Animal House. I will call it the Blutarski. Very nice, man. The Bluntarski. You've heard it here first. So, I mean, my favorite part of that movie, everyone loves that, is when he's walking down the stairs and that hippie singing, I bought my love a cherry that had no stone. And he takes the guitar and smashes it against the wall and says, sorry, and hands it back to him. Love that. What a great movie, Animal House. It's good. A funny little story. A guy I work with showed his son, who's a fresh sophomore college, somewhere in college, I think in the earlier years, showed him Animal House. And he actually said to his dad, like, this is inappropriate. And I know that I've met the boy, and he's a very smart kid, and I know the dad and all this. And but I thought, oh, that's so sad. That's so sad that this kid's reaction was, oh, that's inappropriate. Inappropriate? It's funny. It's comedy. Like, since when does everything have to be appropriate? Give me a break, man. Let down your hair a little bit, buddy. I mean, not him in particular. He's just a kid living in his oeuvre. He's a kid just living in his times. But shit, you can't just watch Animal House and laugh. Yeah. Anyway, so make sure that you show your kids Animal House and that they laugh. Now, all that said, I will not be showing my daughters Animal House, so don't even suggest it. All right, let's give away this knife. Thank you, Jim. All right, in 3, 2, and we're going to find out who wins this Miguron Pagos 1. All right, we're zoning in. We're getting there. We're getting there. We got a lot tonight. Let's see. Who is it? Who is it? Ray Herman. Nice, Ray. This is yours, sir. This knife, I am now officially fondling your knife, sir, and I will put it down. I will put it down, not mine. I will swab it with alcohol, put it in its box, and send it to you. But you got to let me know where you want me to send it. So send me your mailing address. I got to do it with my right hand. Sorry. Send me your mailing address to TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. And that way I will have it. Do it right now, just while it's fresh in your mind. There have been a few times that people haven't responded and then never responded, and then the knife went somewhere else. So please do it now. Let me know what your address is. And by the way, I didn't mention this before, but this has awesome thumb studs. Very, very, very nice thumb studs, among many other things. Great knife. I'm happy it's going to you, sir. I'm going to put it in its Tiffany blue box. Miguron, all fancy with the Tiffany. It's like you get this for your wife, and she pulls it away, and she pulls it like this much away. She's like, oh Bob, oh, I've been waiting for this moment. I can't believe you got me. Hey, oh jeez, oh God, thanks. So don't give this to your wife. Miguron. Well, look at Miguron. What are they doing here with this Tiffany blue? All right, let me put this away. All right, it is away, and this is going to you, sir. But let me write it down. All right, it is written on the computer of destiny. Adrian Fighter 35. Good to have you here, Adrian. Fun show. Pocket check today. Cold Steel. Thank you, sir. Cold Steel Raja 2. Excellent. I was just showing off the. Where'd it go? Well, you probably saw it. Raja 2. Double Agent 2. I got one of those. I wrapped my Double Agent 2 with jute cord. It looks pretty cool. And the Coben serrated edge. Very nice. I love the Cold Steel serrations. I got to say, in terms of looks, I don't like the way they look as much. I know that's stupid to say, but they are awesome. And I'll show you this in a second. Isaiah says, I got that Spartan. I want the Lynn Thompson signature green, my card to G10. I forgot, but I want it. I believe it's G10. The one thing about that, and I know it's still really, really excellent, but it's a different grind. They do where did it go? Where could it go? Oh, here it is. All right. Instead of the hollow grind here, which gets very thin behind the edge, it's a full flat grind, which also gets thin behind the edge and is arguably a better shearing type knife. I don't know. I know it's cheaper to make at this point. For a while, I think hollow grind was cheaper to make, and now I think flat grind is cheaper to make. I don't know. Or easier. Pocket Theory, nice to have you here. Thoth. Oh man, is where Cthulhu lives. Is that what you're... Thank you. Cthulhu, that took me about 17 years to get down. Thoth. Did anyone read Lord Fowl's Bane? It's an old fantasy sci-fi book that I've never read, thank you. But someone that I met randomly on a trip when I was in 8th grade, and then my wife, who's also a sci-fi nerd, read, and the main bad character's name was Arzrarn. And I was like, are you serious? That's what they're going with? Arzrarn? Thoth was also the god of writing, a god of writing. Oh, really? That's ironic. Thoth was associated with numerous things: wisdom, magic, the moon. Thoth. Mike Flamian says, I thought you knew what it meant. Yes, I thought you were a man of the world, Bob. Yeah. I bet in their language, like I said, it sounds cool. Pocket Theory. Thoth was the god, was the god of lisps. That's exactly what I thought. And not making fun of lisps. Some of my favorite people, seriously, have speech impediments. That's so ridiculous. Jay Sheenan, nice to have you here. Sheehan, nice to have you here, Jay. Need more companies focused on self-defense fighting knives. Too much fidget stuff. I agree, Jay. Are you talking about on the folding level or on the fixed blade? Because on the fixed blade, I feel like there are a lot of great makers out there, whether well, okay, since I'll show that in a second, but whether it's a T-Kel doing stuff like this, or you have auxiliary manufacturing doing awesome stuff like this, or here's an Aaron Bieber knife. I know Dave has one of these. This is such a great knife. And like, so there are a lot of smaller, oh, here's a Kramer custom Voodoo. Love this thing. This was one that really got me. This and the Hogtooth EDC Tonto really got me going on carrying fixed blade knives. So there are a lot of great custom makers, and you might say, yeah, but that's custom and it's very expensive. And that is true. But if you can forego 10 cheap cold steels and save up and get one of these, it's totally worth it. Like well, here's a cheap cold steel I wanted to show off. This is an old one though, so it wouldn't be cheap now if we were to buy it, but it's from the Spike series, and this is one of the original ones. The Spike series has been totally redesigned and simplified in terms of blade shapes, and they're great. I love those too. But I took my old one, which I had taken the handles off of, I jute wrapped it, burned it, shellacked it, did all the stuff I like to do to it to make it kind of look and feel good. And so you can go with something like this. But what I'm getting at about your comment about self-defense knives is that there are a lot of options. Don't just think of necessarily the Spyderco, the cold steels, and those knives. If you have a couple that tide you over, if you have some that you can carry, and you're not totally in one of those ravenous phases, and if you are, I get it, because I go through them periodically, and I've been through some benders in my time, and you just want to acquire more and more. If you're not in that stage, slow down for a second, save for a month or two or three or whatever it takes, and find a knife that you like on Instagram. Follow a bunch of great small makers, custom makers, and get something custom just for you. And then you could be carrying around. Look at this little dagger. I mean, it's so sweet. It was like $250 or something, maybe a little more, no more than $300. And I know that sounds like a lot of money, because it is, but it's worth it because a dude named Michael living in Reno, Nevada made this. Michael Jarvis of Auxiliary Manufacturing, and he's a great guy, and he's an American guy. And if you are indeed American and you want to help keep stuff here, I get that. And if you can't afford that, I get that too. But all I'm saying is in this day and age, saving up to get something like this is worth it. You're like, I get it. Shut up now. Okay, so there's my thing. Mr. Greg T, nice to have you, Mr. Greg. Just picked up my first Emerson Commander. I think I'm in love. Yeah, the Emerson Commander is awesome. I'm sorry about all this. I have an Emerson Commander that I got. It's a 2000, the year 2000 Emerson Commander. I bought it in 1999. It showed up at my desk in the year 2000 after I forgot I even ordered it. Most expensive knife I had bought at that point. And it's still like one of the flagships of my collection. So the Commander, I would love to get a modern one, like a contemporary Commander. Really, that's on my list for sure. So congratulations, sir. Use it in good health. And man, that blade shape is just beautiful. Bob's Pocket Knives. Nice to have you here, Bob. I said hi to you, Bob, right? If not, hello. Today I carried my Blade HQ exclusive Tonto CJRB Pyrite. You talked about this last week. I meant to look it up. I don't even know what that blade looks like. I love the Pyrite. As a matter of fact, I was carrying my XL Pyrite quite a bit this week. This was sort of a default for me. I love this thing and hadn't carried it in so long. And maybe even you mentioning it last week inspired it. But I got to check out that Tonto, and a Case Sodbuster Jr., also another knife that I love. I've got the yellow Delrin with the CV blade, and it's so nicely patinas. Mark N, nice to see you here, Mark. Hello, all, he says. Hello to you, sir. Speaking of 1095 or CV case knives, I have this one out. I've had it out on my desk for a few weeks. It's nice. I love it. I love that they're doing the medium-sized toothpicks, and this had very, very weak action. But like I mentioned on the midweek supplemental, sometimes if you ignore case knives and just pretend they don't exist and let them get jealous of the other knives, they actually snap into shape. It's kind of weird, but it's happened on definitely one of my knives. Professor EDC, today's carry was the Benny. Love that thing. The Feel Good Jack, both in White Storm and Fat Carbon, and a gorgeous Puko. Very nice. What kind of Puko? That's what I was looking for when I was saying the Miguron kind of looks like a Puko, a little bit. Oh, thank you. No. Okay, the Liuku is the shape of the Nordic folder you're giving away. Oh my God. It's all coming first, full circle. I love it. Thank you, Professor EDC. There's a reason why he goes by Professor. Todd Carr says, great looking user knife, that Miguron. No doubt. So was the Valona. That was a pretty nice looking knife, I gotta say. Pete Davidson, ha ha ha, pound me too. Beavis and Butthead chuckle. Yeah, exactly. Isaiah says, Bob with the flossy moves. Oh yeah, I always have a Victorinox on me. That's a good policy. It was my first knife I got as a kid, and it's near and dear to me. I have great compliment to my multi-tool. Yeah. Me too. I mean, because my tool set revolves around knives, not around pliers. If they did revolve around pliers all day long with the Leatherman, I love them. I always have them close at hand, like Karen was saying, but not necessarily on me. Mark N says, I just had a Kaiser variable, a little more low-key pocket carry. A variable? That's okay. Let's talk about this for a second. Kaiser's got a couple of weird names. They have the Kaiser Assassin for a charming little 3-inch drop point blade. And then they have the Kaiser variable for I don't know what. I'm sure it's a great knife because Kaisers are great. But the variable, what the hell is that supposed to mean? As a product name. That's the variable. Today it's a piece of shit. Tomorrow it's awesome. Sometimes it's sharp. Other times it doesn't feel like it. It's variable. Will B says, Bob, are you sure you only had one beer? Not like an entire case. No. I had a very long day, one beer, and I have to take a leak so badly that I'm going to leave you with a commercial. Hey, Jim, you got anything you could bring up for just a second so I could stop shifting around in my seat so much? Let's stand by.
The Shockwave Tactical Torch is your ultimate self-defense companion, featuring a powerful LED bulb that lasts 100,000 hours, a super sharp crenulated bezel, and built-in stun gun delivering 4.5 million volts. Don't settle for ordinary. Choose the Shockwave Tactical Torch. TheKnifeJunkie.com/shockwave.
Adventure Delivered. Your monthly subscription for hand-picked outdoor, survival, EDC, and other cool gear from our expert team of outdoor professionals. TheKnifeJunkie.com/battlebox.
All right. Thank you. I feel so much better. All right. That's awesome. I was just thinking, anyone see Jackie Brown? the Quentin Tarantino movie where uh, uh, what's his name? He comes in and oh man, I'm not going to remember any of the names. Well, do you remember Jackie Brown? First of all, if you do, you didn't wash your hands. I was listening and you did not wash your hands. Well, I did. I washed my hands because I was thinking of that movie. Not only that reason, of course, because I'm a very clean guy. And also I'm touching all these knives and I don't want to pick them up later and think about that. But anyway, I got one. I got another beer. So this is going to be good. Help with gadgets. Sorry for the delay and thank you for hanging in. MSI. Oh, okay. With OG scales. So you're talking about original goat scales, which is, yeah, that's definitely how I would take that knife for sure. The Skaha, the Berg Blades Sweeney, Mr. Eddie Custom Fixie. Mr. Eddie, not sure what that is. Great Flick Magnificent 7. Oh, yeah. Great Flick Magnificent 7. Remake was good too. I agree. But didn't need to be remade. Nope, none of them do. And the Great Knife Giveaway. And Great Knife Giveaway. Thank you. I am of the mind that if the movie is good in the first place, you don't need to remake it. And chances are, and if it's bad, you also don't need to remake it unless it was such a good script that was so poorly acted and directed that it has to be redone. In which case, no one would know it's a remake anyway because no one knows the first one. Doug Bull, Bob, did you see Charles Bronson movie Red Sun? I did not. Charles Bronson. What a dude. Holy mackerel. What a tough mofo. He came from he was like a middle child of 14, something like that. He was a combat vet, hard as nails. He was kind of a cool dude. Craig Vincent, Bob, you mentioned Bob Loveless. I picked up a vintage folder made by one of Bob's apprentices. Nice. Oh, Tak Fukada. I say, I feel like I know that name, but I don't think I do now. It's a buck 110 style he made for Montana Knives in Seki City, Japan in the 80s. Craig, you've been scoring these amazing Seki City finds from the 80s. Did you say the last week you got something, I know, but did you get an Almar from Seki City or something like that? That would be sweet. But very nice. I like that you're going that route. Isaiah Pavlik says Animal House, the Blues Bros classics. So Animal House, yes. Blues Brothers, I only ever really saw once when I was really little. Like I saw it in the 70s or maybe very early 80s at a friend's house on VHS. They were early adopters. We were late adopters. But never really. Aretha Franklin was the thing that really made me want to re-see that movie, but I still haven't yet. Bob says it was intentionally inappropriate for comedic effect. Yes, excellent. Well, I like that. People are too, I don't know, they got their knickers in a twist these days. Angry Tom says the knife you helped design with T. Kell is called what? Oh, well, let me find it. And wait, where is it? Oh, right here. It's the Agent 001 right here. This is the Agent 001. Almost all of the first bunch of them, which I think is 1,200 of them, or let's see. Yeah, I think 1,200 of them. Almost all of them are now made. I know my brother, who was waiting for a while, got his. And I got to say, just on a personal note, it's a proud moment when your brother, who is great guy, I've always looked up to him, receives your knife and is like, "Oh, this is so awesome. I'm so proud of you." I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." Because he and I have the same likes. You've seen the war gauntlet he's made me. You've seen all the knives he's given me. So to make a knife that he gets and really digs, I don't know, that was pretty sweet. Ray Herman, nice to see you here, Ray. Wow, I can't believe I won already. Oh, I say, nice to see you. Okay, let me just show you what you won again, Ray, since you can't believe you won. First of all, in the Tiffany box, and then here it is. Man. Very nice. It's like a leuku. Leuku. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but that is the word on the street. Very nice knife. And like I said, Migueron, all the Miguerons I've touched have been really well made. Split and Slices. Byron says, saw a great old knife movie again, Force 10 from Navarone. Oh, man. Richard Keel, a.k.a. Jaws. Oh, okay. From 007. Yeah, big dude. Dies by a thrown Bowie. Oh, nice. By the late Carl Weathers. Barbara Bach. Ooh, I remember her. Looked mighty inappropriately fine, too. I remember Barbara Bach. But wait, what does this Bowie look like that he throws into Jaws? Dion Page, I had my self-defense necklace knife from Dion when I ran. Yes, okay. So this is from Raylene. Had my self-defense necklace knife from Dion when I ran yesterday. Was practicing with it when I ran. Well, Raylene, I will have you know, my wife, she runs too, and she for a long time was carrying. Well, she does still, actually. I'm trying to get her off of it. I got her a different knife that she's not so keen on. But she carried a little Bastinelli diagnostic, which is a ring knife, but it only goes around your forefinger. And then you grip it just like this, like a natural fist. And you get this little claw, this little nasty claw. And she loves carrying that because she can run with it in the sheath in her hand, like ready to deploy. All she has to do is whip off that sheath to use it. But it's D2. It's made out of D2 blade steel, so that means it rusts. So every time she runs, I have to oil it and stuff. So that's cool that you're carrying a neck knife. I like neck knives. They're pretty easily accessible in a lot of cases. You just want to be careful that you just got to be careful with anything around your neck. Todd Carr says lots of custom makers doing fixed blades for under $250 and much less dependent on steel and size. Yes, exactly. Like, I don't know if you're getting a custom knife, say like this, which is actually in Magna Cut, but let's just say any sort of here. Let me choose something else. Well, right here, say you're getting this knife. This is also considered custom, though it's made in slightly, more mechanized fashion. But the steel on this knife is important, but the heat treat is more important. We all kind of know this at this point. We can have M390, or we can have Magna Cut or 20CV or Crew Wear or something like that. But if it's not heat treated properly, it doesn't, just none of that matters. So really heat treat is important, and blade geometry is important, and those kind of things. So when you have a knife like this, which is AEBL, which is a great blade steel, but it's not Magna Cut, it's not Crew Wear, but I don't need that for this. So what am I getting at? What am I saying? I'm saying, we can be realistic about the steels we need and use, I guess. I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like for me, even though I don't want 8CR13 MOV in my collection, I've never been using a knife and been like, oh my God, this steel is just inadequate. I really wish I had something more like M390. That's just not me. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there for whom that's the real case, but definitely not me. So I keep coming back to things like heat treat, geometry, and design. And then, of course, does it look cool? Isaiah says, in my opinion, any knife can be a self-defense knife. Absolutely. You just got to know what your knife does. And if it falls underneath either one or one main carry, concealed, second, and I got a knife, you don't. Yes. Yeah, and not flaunting it to be felt and not seen. Pete Davidson's, hey, Bob, more than 3 shakes will make baby Jesus cry. All right. Fair enough. But sometimes, sometimes you just got to roll with it. But you don't see hairy palms in this picture, do you? I'm going to show you this knife right here. Isaiah Pavlik says Charles Bronson was no one to play with. Yeah, no doubt. So this one here, the sheath is a little janky if you look at it, but it fits nicely. But if you look at all those grommets, too many grommets, they're all weirdly placed. But if the snap is perfect, I didn't know what I was doing. But this one is a knife that I made many years back. Well, 5 or 6 years ago, I say. At 1095 blade steel, I had it heat treated by True Grit out in Sacramento. It took them like 9 months. And I was like, did you guys lose my knives? And they're like, no, but they're just not that important to us. So we'll get them out to you eventually. And it's ground on a 2x48 Craftsman single speed and all that. But I feel like the bones of a great knife are here. Because you have a clip point, you have a handle that's very ergonomic for my hands. Now, I don't know how, your mileage may vary, but it feels great in my hand. And it straddles that line between field knife and easily concealed knife at about 4.5 inches in blade length. And I think this is something I want to have made by someone who really knows what they're doing. It's a very simple knife, and I would like also to have this swedge somehow come to a Scandi edge or a zero ground edge. I just don't know if I can do it with that blade profile, which I would like to keep because I want it to be slender and stabby. But yeah, I haven't had this one out in a while, but recently was kind of carrying it around the house, and it's just good. I like it. And it's great in reverse grip. I just need to get more eyes on it, more hands on it, to see if it's worth making and spending the money on. So I don't know. I would call it the Ramirsa. The DeMarco design Ramirsa. You figure it out. So what do you guys think of jute? Am I going nuts with the jute? I kind of want everything in jute now. I want to get, so I've been carrying this one a lot now. This is the Wicket, the primitive Wicket by Knives by Nuge, Tom Nugent, out of New Jersey, making like really awesome outdoors knives. And you wouldn't think that, because we all have an idea about different states. In New Jersey, we think of Elizabeth and Trenton and Newark. But there are, like, New Jersey is an absolutely beautiful state. It is a hidden gem. Too bad it's politically jacked up, but it is a hidden gem. It's such a beautiful place. Many, many wild places in New Jersey. And Tom Nugent goes to them and camps. And he also makes these really nice knives. This is, I think, the smallest thing he makes. And it is an outstanding neck knife, to the point where I would like to have this very not in my sort of category of knives. I'd like to have the large version of this, the XL, which is a full 4-finger grip, and it's that same useful blade shape with the Scandi grind and the micro bevel, just only larger. I've really fallen for this knife hard. Again, you can see it's got the burnt jute handle. And in this case, that handle makes it so thin that this knife rides next to the skin on my chest and belly really nicely. And ordinarily that kind of, I don't know, it aggravates me. I would rather have my neck knife over a t-shirt and then have another shirt over that. But in this case, jute's so crazy. But in this case, so thin and light and useful at this 80 CRV2. This knife is awesome. Check out Knives by Nuge. He was at Blade Show and I saw him and I just walked over and I was like, just wanted to say hi because he's such a nice guy. He was on the show and I wanted to introduce myself in person, shake his hand. But to be 100% honest, I was not expecting to buy a knife when I walked over to him, but I picked this one up and I was like, God, man. And he allowed me to put it on. I put it on and I was like, this is sweet. So yeah, I highly recommend this knife. So useful. And by the way, jute wrap looks badass. Yeah, I agree. there is something primitive to it that I like. But this, by the way, I'm going to come over here to the main cam. I had this this morning. Was it this morning? I don't even remember. It's been a long day, but I took the knife like this and I did some slashing on cardboard from a box, but the open flap that was, like this, and was just, you can do a lot with a small knife. Let me just say, you can do a lot with a small knife. Back it with some thumb there, but maybe not too much thumb because you don't want to run through but back it with a little bit of thumb, and this thing, you could do a lot of outdoor tasks, which is what it's for, but you could also defend yourself with it. That's what I'm always getting at, because to me, that's what's most interesting about knives, because I don't need them to survive in my current lifestyle. However, I might need them as a weapon to survive. So anyway, that's what that is. All right. Let me show you a couple of cool knives before we dip out of here shortly, that I have out on the table. I got some sweet double-edged fighters, and this one, I don't show this one off enough, but this is the Lacey Szabo designed Express, made by Tops. They offered it in the obviously should be double-edged version like this, but also a single-edged version if that's if you obey your local knife laws and they are crazy. But this is a really great fighter, and I call it a fighter, not a dagger. A dagger is symmetrical. I guess a dagger can be single-edged, but it's got to be symmetrical. So there's a dagger. There's a fighter. You can see how that's asymmetrical. And to me, those are favored. I like them. I prefer them over daggers. And you say, Bob, you've never been in a knife fight. How can you have a preference? Well, I just do. And I think personally that, and this is all theoretical, but I think personally that you stand to gain a lot by the asymmetry of a fighter like this, where you have a larger bevel on one side, the cutting side, the slicing, slashing side, and then a more stout, tearing, gashing, gouging sort of edge on the top side. This Tops is pretty thin and is very, it's pretty thin behind the edge on both sides. So that's not much of a gouging, tearing edge anyway. But I like the asymmetry. There's a purpose to it. Plus, they usually come to this sort of slight micro tip there. Not micro tip, but micro hawk tip. Jim, can you put up the last couple of comments? I was blathering, got away from myself. Time to snooze, says Dion Page. Got shop prepared to do tomorrow. Good night, King Junkie, Jim, and all you junkies. Good night, Dion. It was a pleasure speaking with you and your lady, Raylene. You guys have an awesome night and have a great and productive, well, not too productive. It's the weekend. So have a great and restorative weekend. Isaiah, never get tired of looking at that spear point you got at Blade Show, that collab. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I don't either. But what can I say here? I'll show it again. Here, look at this. That's a nice looking combo. This isn't a direct influence, but knives like this influence this knife for sure. The Tops Rapid Strike was an influence on this for sure. Yeah, look at those beautiful double-edged knives. Now, why would you impugn them? Why would you make them illegal double-edged? Like you're going to do so much more damage with it. That's the funny thing about some of these crazy knife laws. They just don't really make sense if you think about it. If someone has this single-edged Pikal knife and they're going to town on you, like whether it's single or double-edged, it becomes, the import becomes vanishingly small, I guess you could say, if you wanted to sound fancy. But it's just not, you're going to do damage either way. All right, let's look at this. Now I just want to pull out all my knives and just check them out. But I have this out, the Spartan Harzy Kukri. Look at this. This thing is so awesome. Bill Harzy Jr. is one of my favorite knife designers. Look at that handle in cross section. This is crazy. Not cross section. I'm sorry, from the dorsal view or the pectoral view. I guess this is the dorsal view. I like the Coke bill look here. But yeah, Bill Harsey Jr., one of the greatest designers out there for sure. And his take on the kukri I like especially because it puts that point in the center line. It's not so far off. Now, all that said, I argue that a kukri is a great thrusting knife, even an extremely curved kukri, because it allows you to thrust without having to misalign your hand to do so. You can just kind of hold it like this, and then that imagine this is a more curved traditional kukri. You just hold your hand like this, and that point is going where you need it to go. This has the dynamics or the orientation of a more traditional knife with a straight center line. You can see it like that. These Spartan Harsey knives are awesome. Of course, you know the folder is great, and you know the very expensive dagger is great, but there is a series of 3 knives that all share this handle. This kukri, there's one called the Fighter. That's a sort of an analog to the K-bar with a clip point blade. And then there's a Nesmuk, sort of a battle Nesmuk, if you will, but they all have this really, really nice handle, which if you're familiar with the old Gerber Rock from way back in the day, has a very similar handle to the Gerber Rock. And that's something that I love about Bill Harsey Jr. You can spot his designs a mile away. Great designs. Take a sip of my refreshing beverage, which I earned fully, and get on with it. All right, so as we come to a close on this evening, let me show you some of the other cool knives I pulled out just to show, just in case. We're talking about fighters. I'm always showing these things out here. I'll leave this and this. I'll take the kukri, but let me put in another knife from this sort of genre. You have handled the smaller K-bar kukri. I have not. I have not handled any K-bar kukris, actually. Here's another great double-edged fighter. This one is called the Necromance. This is by Jed Hornbeak. What an amazing knife, man. This is awesome. Everything I've ever held by him just is such a unit. This is amazing. And this, by the way, this top swedge is a 0 ground Scandi edge, nice and sharp. The other one I wanted to show was this. Attention to detail mercantile medium fighter in double edge with the tortoiseshell handle. Oh, wait. One more. Here, I'll take that away because we've all seen that a lot, and I'll put this in. Do you see that? You like that little move? So this down here is the Pinkerton Razorback. So this is a handmade Pinkerton knife. A lot of people know Dirk Pinkerton because he's got many folding designs in production and some fixed blade designs in production with our favorite Japanese or Chinese manufacturers like Kaiser and Concept, etc. But he also is an amazing grinder of knives and hand makes knives. And I have a number of them. And this is one of my favorites. Well, I guess they're all my favorites. They're all double-edged too. All of my Pinkerton knives are either double-edged or in one case, triple-edged. So love that thing. This is my favorite genre of knives. My favorite fixed blade type of knife is the way more tactical than practical, fixed, double-edged, asymmetrically designed bladed knife. Yeah, I would have to say that that's my absolute favorite. There you go. What's yours? What do you like? I love Bowie knives. I love daggers. I love Pikal knives, all of them. But really, when it comes down to it, yeah, it's these kind of things that really are get my motor running. All right, guys. I think I've had it. I think I've had it, man. I think I want to drink that beer and settle in. You guys let me know what you're gonna do for the weekend. Let me know what your plans are, and we'll dip out of here. I've got a nice, let's see, nice representation of some of my favorite blades here as we roll out. And make sure you check in on Sunday, because we have an awesome interview with Jared Franklin of Gunfighter Customs. I met him at Blade Show this year. Him and two of his compatriots who sometimes help him on the work, but they're guys that he served with who are helping him at his table. He's a former Marine. Yes, another former Marine making knives. And he does really cool stuff, very tactical stuff, but also does custom designs from customers. So if there's a knife you've been itching to have, but you don't have the chops to make it yourself, you can go to these guys. And he is awesome. Those little big knives. That's right. Oh, it's funny you should say that, because Jared Franklin of Gunfighter Customs was showing off a couple of little big knives, chief among them this dagger, this little close quarters dagger. Oh, awesome. Bob says, good night, y'all. See you next time. Bob, have a fine evening, sir, and a great weekend. Have a good one, says Doug Bull. Doug, you have a great weekend too. Have a great night. It's been a pleasure. Martial Arts Expo to support my friend Robert Redfeather from Apache Knife Fighting. Very cool. I think I know if he has a social media presence. I think I know who this guy is. I think he's been in the game a long time, right? Robert Redfeather. I feel like I've heard his name. Mark Stallman, great selections. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. They are well, as far as like stuff is concerned, besides my wedding ring, these are my prized possessions. But mostly it's the ones that are sentimental, that have been given to me by people I care about. So they're really just things in the end. Oh, I'm not going to get philosophical. Be good to your knives. Keep them sharp. Talk to them. Oil them. Dragon Fest. Love it. Dragon Fest. And remember, you can take it with you. I'm just kidding. Thanks to the Knife Junkie. Bye, all. Byron, have a great weekend, sir. I hope you have a good one. Will be. You too, sir. Have a great weekend. Good night, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Hopefully my new to me Microtech Scarab 2 will arrive tomorrow. Scarab 2 with all the little grooves, so you can open it up in the water when you do an underwater demolition. Love it. Yes, Facebook, been several movies too. Awesome. Have a knife day. Have a knife weekend for sure. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. For Jim, working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying until next time, I implore you to not take dull for an answer.